All right, so welcome to this week's Unikernel application spotlight. This week we are looking at Bichon. I assume that's how you pronounce it. Pronounce that dog. But yeah, so this is a email archiver. It's written in Rust, as you can see. It's a neat little program I ran into, and so uh, I guess the person who wrote this, they needed a way to like archive lots of different email accounts, but they didn't want to go into a email client, for instance. And since it's not just one personal account, but many different types of accounts that it would archive, you need a more centralized system for that, right? It caught my eye because they do use a lot of language in this repo that is very close to unikernel. So a standalone server application. They don't actually require an external database, for instance. A lot of the functionality is just like in one binary. There's actually multiple binaries, which we'll get into, but there's only one actual server daemon binary. So that makes a lot of sense from a unikernel standpoint. But yeah, it has things like full text search. I mentioned the multi-account setup. There's an API that I haven't really explored. Uh, I would be interested in looking at that because some of the stuff I'm going to be showing is are some of the other tools. But it has IMAP and you can sync all your accounts together. It has some RBAC, basic RBAC, and so forth, some analytics, and so forth, some screenshots. But yeah, the package that I created is here. So it's just iberg slash Bichon. And that's that. For full text, it's using TenTV. TenTV. I don't know how to pronounce some of these names. Maybe that's a horse. I don't know. Anyway, this is what it's using for full text. Super popular library. It's like 14,000 stars. I guess Bichon, it's relatively new, by the way, has about 1,000. But yeah, it's only like 3 months old or so. And I think the story on this was this person had created another similar project, but they were getting a bunch of emails about can it do archiving? He's like, no, but maybe I can carve something off. So, anyways, let's go ahead and check it out. So let's pull up our package. We'll go ahead and run it. Right. So it listens on 15.630, and as you kind of could see, let me copy this first. So as you can see, it's welcoming us in. We're going to go ahead and log in. All right, so this is the dashboard when you first get in, and shows you some of these stats. The first thing that we're going to have to do is create what's called a no-sync account. Basically, for importing existing email, which most people probably would have to do this if they have an existing archive. You don't want to sync for that, right? So, but you still want to import it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a no sync. Now, if you were going to just continuously sync the email, you would do, add IMAP and, just go through the steps. I'm not going to show you that, but I will show you the no sync part. Actually, I'm getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So, before we add that no sync, let's talk about the email format that we're going to be importing. So back to the shell. A lot of stuff is going to be in these inbox files, right? So I'm a big Mutt user. I still have pretty much most of my developer, related emails go straight to Mutt and Procmail and all that sort of stuff. And so that will use these inbox files, right? And what is it? Well, it just looks like this. It's basically a collection of your emails. It's really super basic, actually. So it's a format that's been around for forever. Anyways, the reason I wanted to show you this was because we need to know what kind of account we want to create, right? So what we want to do is we want to grab author at example.com. So this is just a sample inbox. I didn't want to use my own inbox files, but this is a sample one that you can find on GitHub or Google or wherever. And so we're going to create a no sync for him. Add no sync, add the email, create. Okay, so now what's going to happen is when we actually import this, it's going to know who it's attached to. Because again, you could add the intention here is that you might have 20 or 200 email accounts. Maybe you have a small company and there's a mandate where all the emails have to be archived, no questions asked type of thing. Maybe the company's getting sued, right? So that's where this can help out quite a bit. So we went ahead and add that. Now we actually want to sync, but before we do that, let's go to, is it settings? Yeah, API tokens. Okay, so we're going to add a token. Let's say Bob. All right, so now we have a token. I'm going to copy this. And now we're going back to our tool, right? So if you downloaded this, there's this Bichon control, right? There's an API. Again, I didn't get into that, but we're going to use this control program for now. So basically, it says you want to use this configuration. I'm going to say nope, because we got a new token. So base URL is fine. API token, I'm going to paste in. Now I'm going to say yes. Okay, so now it says, hey, do you want to import it? I'm like, yep. And now it says, which format do you want? Thunderbird, Outlook, Inbox. We're going to do Inbox. It says, hey, where is it at? It's in sample.inbox. And then it says, how do we want to, determine the target folder? I'm just going to hit the default here, start the import, boom, and it's done. So there's only 5 emails in this inbox file, but that gives us enough stuff to do. So we go back to accounts, go back to dashboard. You can kind of see that we have 1 in there. We can click on Arthur's inbox, and now we have our emails from apparently 20 years ago showing up. Where was it? Yeah, so the search, obviously that 10TV or whatever, you can kind of search for stuff that you're interested in, pulling it up, and you can kind of see the patch that this user shot in. You have all the deletes and stores. You can drill down by attachments and so forth. You can go way back in time if you need to. You can obviously do different things. You can tag it, switch around what you want to view. So here's the API documentation. Looks like they got a couple different things. There's Swagger. I wonder if there's a import on this API. I think they mentioned that they did not put this in the API, and I don't remember what the reason was. Oh no, it's right here. It's right here. There you go. So then you don't have to use that control tool. You can just use this, which is nice. And then, obviously the settings, you can go through proxies, which is interesting. He's got his light mode and dark mode if you want to take it easy on your eyes, and then OAuth configurations and all that sort of stuff. But, this is a pretty cool little email archiver. Has a lot of interesting features, and it's now running as a Nanos Unikernel. All right, until next week.